To be able to analyze the story and answer Baguru questions, you have to be familiar with the setting, symbols, theme, or themes, and the message of the story. The setting is determined by the time and place. The story, The Treasure of Lemon Brown, takes place on a dark, stormy night, and is mostly set in an old abandoned building located in the poor neighborhood of Harlem. The setting is significant for two main reasons. First, the dark and rainy atmosphere creates suspense and makes the readers enter a scary, suspicious mood. Secondly, the location, an abandoned tenement, is important because it also contributes to the creation of suspense. As we know, such abandoned places are more likely to be the places where trouble occurs. The old abandoned building is also important because of the contradiction it suggests. It is the living place of an old homeless who is said to have a treasure. When we first read the story, the immediate thought that comes to mind when first hearing about the treasure is something of great value in terms of money. The fact that treasure is held in an old abandoned tenement gives us a hint to the end of the story, at which we learn that a meaningful, valuable treasure is unnecessarily something you have to have lots of money for. A homeless living in an abandoned building may have a treasure too. Symbols are objects in the text that have deeper meanings than it first appears. They are meant to emphasize the meaning of the story by relating to the story's theme, message, or characters. The main symbols in the story are the harmonica and paper clippings. Harmonica is a musical instrument that represents independence and freedom. In fact, Lemon Brown used to be a famous blues singer who traveled alone and performed in many countries. The harmonica is also a simple musical instrument that does not cost much. Being part of the treasure of Lemon Brown, the harmonica in the story is used to emphasize how a treasure is not necessarily something expensive that costs a lot of money. Similarly, the newspaper clippings are also something that doesn't seem to have much value at first, but we learn they are very meaningful too, regardless of their materialistic worth. Another symbolic aspect of the newspaper clippings is the fact that newspapers allow us to document and remember things that happened in the past. The life course of Lemon Brown is what he was proud of and wanted to pass on to his son, and the newspaper articles kept the memory of his successful life course alive. Once again, it is the sentimental meaning that is as dear as a treasure, and not the newspaper clipping's actual materialistic value. The theme is the general main idea expressed in the story and may be conveyed directly or indirectly. While there is always one general theme, some stories may have additional minor themes. The theme in the story is the relationships between fathers and sons, and the legacies fathers can pass on to their sons. The theme is present in two parallel father-son relationships in the story: the relationship between Greg and his father, and the relationship between Lemon Brown and his son. In both cases, the fathers wanted to pass on to their sons something valuable, and they could only pass on what they had and what they knew. In the case of Lemon Brown, it was his famous life course as a blues singer, and in the case of Greg's father, it was his hope for a better future for Greg, which he hoped would be different than what he had. Greg is angry with his father's principles at first, but after he meets Lemon Brown, he learns something about the legacies fathers try to pass on to their sons, and understands his father's behavior. The message in the story refers to what the author would like to teach the readers through his or her writing. It is connected directly to the theme, so when you discuss the message of the story, you would have to state the theme as well. The message of the story, The Treasure of Lemon Brown, is that everyone can have a treasure that is meaningful and dear to them. One person's treasure may not seem valuable to others, but it doesn't matter. The treasures in this story are the legacies Lemon Brown and Greg's father tried to pass on to their sons. They may not mean a lot to others, but to these fathers, they meant all that they had to pass on to their children. So, are you ready for your analysis and interpretation questions? Test yourself by answering the following questions. You can always go back to the different aspects presented in this video. Check out the answers file provided for this unit when you're done. 1. What is the setting of the story? How does it contribute to your understanding of the story? 2. What are the main symbols in the story? How do they relate to the concept of a treasure? 3. What is the theme of the story? How is it expressed throughout the story? 4. What is the message the author tries to convey?